What is going on YouTube? So obviously right now we have the Rappa banner live, and for part 2 of the 2.6 update, if you don't know or if you forgot, perfectly normal and fine, we're going to be getting reruns of both Acheron and Aventurine. Now, I'm going to be covering over both characters as to why someone might want to pull, why someone might not want to pull, dupes, and so on and so forth. Also, their light cones, which is very, very important. We will make sure you get that in a second tab. So in today's video, we're going to be going over Acheron herself. Now, there's a lot of, I wouldn't say contention, but there's a lot more debate up at the top, the peak, the echelon of Honkai Star Rail top damage dealing units, because initially on her release she was competing with Jingliu essentially, maybe Argenti, but Acheron kind of just pooped all over them because her damage output eclipsed everybody else in the game. However, now we have other characters who are fully capable of matching that damage, if not doing more. Units such as Firefly, Fei Xiao, Yun Li, perhaps, Boot Hill, and not Topaz and Nami. But we have at least 4 other units who could possibly match that damage. Now, what's the first thing you have to think about when you are contemplating pulling for a character? You first need to contemplate whether, do I have the team necessary to build this character? And for Acheron, what you are going to need is you are going to need 2 other Nihility characters. Now, obviously, we're over here on Pridewind, and we'll just go over to teams and whatnot. You can see here, synergy wise, these are Nihility characters that you would want to be running with Acheron. Now, this is completely without any dupes, because we will have to get into that, because you will need to know that in terms of, all right, do I want to go for dupes, or how all out am I going for this character? Personally, the team I run with Acheron is I run with Kafka, with Black Swan, and with Aventurine. That is my Acheron team, and I just absolutely love using it because it's very consistent, it's very safe, it's very fun for me. So what is Acheron's whole gimmick? What does she need to do? Like, what is her thing? So essentially what you want to be doing is you want to be inflicting debuffs onto the enemies. And the reason why is because you would be gaining stacks of Slashed Dream. You see up here, not right there, derp, right here, is that whenever you deal damage to an enemy and inflict a debuff, you would be getting a stack of Slashed Dream. And once you reach your maximum stacks, which is 9, you are going to be able to launch the ultimate. Additionally, if I can find it, I don't know why I'm not right here. So additionally, when you have 1 or 2 Nihility characters other than Acheron herself, because so if you didn't know, she is a Nihility character, she is not a hunt or destruction character, you'd be getting an increase to your basic attack, skill, and ultimate depending on how many other Nihility characters you have. So without any dupes in the character, you want to, because you are going to be getting a total of 160 additional damage respectively on all of these attacks. So that is essentially why you run 2 other Nihility characters, and Acheron is just stupid strong. So once you have your total amount of Slashed Dreams, then you can get 3 more additional stacks, but they are like attack boosting stat for Acheron, and then you just completely wipe the floor. And obviously this is only implemented if you inflict a debuff onto the enemy. It doesn't have to necessarily be from a Nihility character, but the fact that you are inflicting a debuff on the enemy not only enables you to get a stack of Slashed Dream, however, like I said, once you reach your max number of Slashed Dreams, you are able to get up to 3 additional stacks of increased damage, as right here. 30% damage stacking up to 3 times from her Crimson Knot. So very, very strong. Now, That's all the baseline stuff. So what is her dupes? Like, let's say you have the character and you want dupes. What do you want? Well, you can see right here from her E1, we're not looking at E2 yet. E1, her crit rate increases by 18% when dealing damage to debuffed enemies. Running her in her main team, that being with other Nihility characters, preferably Jashao. I don't even think I'm saying his name right. Let me pull him up real quick. This guy right here, because he is able to, reduce the enemy's defense. Let's say you have him and you want more and more damage, rightfully so. Right here, you just be getting increased crit rate. Very, very strong. E2 is really where like Acheron really starts to see a major damage like spike, because her Trace the Abyss right over here, this one right here, is that to achieve the highest possible effect is reduced by 1. When this unit's turn starts, gain 1 point of slash drain and inflict 1 stack of Crimson Knot onto the enemy with the most Crimson Knot stacks. So that enemy is going to be increasing or receiving more and more damage based on the stacks of Crimson Knot, able to go up to 9. So that's very, very strong. But the huge thing is that you are reducing the max damage like condition by 1. So you're still gonna need 1 Nihility character, that's fine and all, but once you hit that 1, instead of the 115, it's gonna be 160. So it's very, very strong. E3, this is just very plain and simple stuff. E4 is when an enemy target enters battle, makes them vulnerable to ultimate damage, increasing the amount of damage they take from the ultimate by 8%. And Acheron's ultimate is pretty freaking giga strong. Being able to just bypass any kind of toughness and just doing a lot of freaking damage is what Acheron does, and what she does great. So in being able to increase that damage by 8% is astounding. E5, we have this, generic stuff. E6 is increase the all type res penetration for the ultimate damage dealt by Acheron by 20%. Very, very strong. The damage dealt by her basic attack and skill will also be considered ultimate damage and can reduce enemy toughness regardless of weakness type. When weakness broken, triggers the lightning weakness break effect. I actually don't really know what that is. So HSR lightning break effect. Let's see. Okay, so shock. You're just dealing. Okay, so not really anything spectacular. Lycone. We got to talk about her Lycone along the passing shore, because honestly, I do think only a few characters Lycones are a must-have. Acheron's is one of them, because you are going to be increasing her crit damage. Depending on how many copies you get. Let's just say you just have the plain and simple just one. It's going to be 36%. Then when you hit an enemy target, inflicts the Mirage Fizzle on the enemy, lasting for 1 turn. Each time the wearer attacks, this effect can only trigger 1 time, and the wearer deals increased damage to targets afflicted with Mirage Fizzle, and the damage dealt by the wearer's ultimate increases by exponential amount. So, jumping back around, we're looking at this tier list and you see, oh, Acheron came down, okay, so she must not be good. Acheron is still freaking strong. If you do not have Acheron, and let's say you have either Face Shao or Firefly, or heck, even if you have both, get Acheron. She is definitely a character you want to have, because she's just that freaking strong and capable of doing anything really, and outputting tremendous damage. I highly recommend anybody to get Acheron.